pretty soon you're going to hit that wall where you won't be able to do any of the things that most people are actually seeking to do. It's not about becoming soft and cushy. It's about becoming quite resilient and effective. I'm doubling down, I'm tripling down on those as essential to the point where nothing else really happens.
Fundamentally, the most important thing for mental health and physical health, wound healing, recovery from injuries, testosterone, libido, metabolism. I mean, it's just, I would place it right up there in the top 5.
Those 5 things are sleep, right? In the absence of quality sleep over 2 or 3 days, you're just going to fall to pieces. In the presence of quality, sufficient sleep over 2 or 3 days, you're going to function at an amazing level. There's a gain of function and a loss of function there. Right? It's not just if you sleep poorly, you function less well. You sleep better, you function much better. So sleep, I would say, is at the top of the list. Nutrients, and there you can think macronutrients. And so your carnivores are only eating meat, and your vegans are only eating plants, and your omnivores, which is I think probably 90% of the world, is eating a combination of those.
And try and limit the highly processed foods, which are the things that basically could survive on the shelf forever. Try and make those 25% or less of your food intake.
Right.
I think regardless of what foods people are eating, everyone agrees you're going to be a much healthier human being that way.
The second thing is nutrients, and that includes macronutrients, and that includes micronutrients as well. Supplementation or supplements is a bit of a misnomer because it implies vitamin supplements. And people say, well, can't you get all that from food? Or that whey protein, isn't that just food? Wouldn't you be better off with a chicken breast? Then the third would be movement, right? And this has also been an enormous transition in the last, I think, just 5 years, which is not just for people interested in bodybuilding or powerlifting or for competitive athletes, but now it seems everybody, including the elderly, understand that you need a combination of cardiovascular exercise and you need resistance training, whether or not it's with body weight or weights or machines, et cetera, that you need both. I mean, not a week goes by without seeing an article in one of the major publications out there, standard media, let's call it traditional media, we'll be nice to them, traditional media, that highlights some study showing that, resistance training in elderly people can offset Alzheimer's, or that, as our friend Peter Attia has pointed out so many times, that many of the end of life creating injuries are due to older people stepping down, the eccentric movements. Okay, so you need movement. That's the third category. Fourth, I will argue, and I like to think that maybe I've helped this movement, if you want to call it that, is light. In particular, sunlight in the early part and throughout the middle of the day, and trying to minimize the amount of artificial light that you're exposed to in the evening and late night hours, most of the time, because you have to live life. Just fundamental.
So during the day, you want sunlight as much as you can. Bright light, all these bright lights that we're getting beamed with right now, great, because it's early day. And then in the evening, just dim it down, red lights, and you'll feel so much better. And try to not do it through a window or a windshield. And if you've been working indoors for a while, you're on the computer, you're editing or doing whatever, get outside every few hours and get a little blast of sunlight. I mean, it sets in motion so many things through the neurons in your eye that they connect directly to this area of your brain called the hypothalamus, that in turn releases all these chemicals and hormones that create alertness, immune system function during the day, and they set this timer on sleep so that it makes it much easier to fall asleep at night.